Tens of billions in grant dollars were awarded this year by the federal government and private foundations. And yet there are millions of people just like you trying to find a grant to fit their needs. In this video, I will share with you my journey of securing over $1 million in grant funding this year. It's an accomplishment that I'm proud of, but it was not all smooth sailing. I know how frustrating it can be to apply for grants with $0 to show for it. I had several of those this year too. So I'm going to show you how I approach grants and give you a bunch of tried and true pro tips in the grant funding process to help you overcome these challenges and feel more confident in writing your next grant. Let's set the scene. The grants I write are not for the Grant Chatter YouTube channel. I love to make these videos for you, but I also have a full-time job writing and managing grants for a large nonprofit in a metropolitan area. Don't worry, small business owners, my strategy tips will work for you as well. For this nonprofit organization, I have 175 possible grants on my list. This year we applied for 100 of them. How did we choose them? The number one grant strategy pro tip is that you have to match where you provide your service or product with where the grant funder wants to provide support. This year we focused inside our state and our region, with one exception that I'll share in a minute. What are these funders interested in? Are we tops at providing that service or product so that our proposal will be competitive? For 100 of those 175 grant funders, we said yes. We applied to a mix of state government agencies, private foundations, corporations, the UnitedWay, and that unusual exception is that we have a national office that secures a pool of some grant funds that we members can apply for. But wait, what about all those billions in federal government grants that I mentioned at the start of the video? Didn't I apply for any of those? Well, in a way. Let me explain. Many billions of those federal government grant dollars go first to state governments, and then you apply to the state government. This is called pass-through funding, and that was a big source of the grant dollars that we received from our state government this year. And there was a lot to apply for because this was the last year of pandemic-related government dollars, the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA funds. Side note, we all know things are going to change in federal government over the next few years. And believe me, I am watching 24/7 to report back to you and also to make sure my day job has current information. Another question you may ask, why didn't I apply to all 175 funders on my list? My answer is also a pro tip. We decided that those 75 had the least potential to be awarded, so we opted to apply for the funds that we thought had a higher chance of success. For example, a few of those on my list are celebrity foundations because they support programs similar to ours, but their funds are spread all across the country and they get so many requests. So I didn't put the energy into those. But next year I might, so I'll keep them on my list just in case. What mix of grant funders could you apply to? Nonprofits and small businesses, you should take a look at your state and local government agencies, whether you are involved in health, the arts, economic development, education, or any number of other interests. These agencies can advise you and often have grant funds available. Private foundations will overwhelmingly support nonprofits and grassroots organizations, but if you watch my videos on small business grants, you will see lots of private funders that want to help small businesses as well. Pro tip, those small business grants are often organized to serve a specific population, such as veterans, women, or people of color. And you will see that the grant is often part of a package that includes participating in their business development program. I have whole playlists for you on these types of grants, linked above and in the description below. Large and small corporations also prefer supporting nonprofits for the most part, especially with this pro tip. If you have ways for their employees to volunteer with your organization, your grant proposal could have a much higher chance of success. UnitedWay grants are mostly for nonprofits and grassroots organizations. In my area, I haven't seen UnitedWay grants for small businesses, but let me know in the comments if your region has that. I mentioned that our national office awards grants for some of our programs. Other nonprofits with names you may know, such as the Boys and Girls Clubs, may also have a similar arrangement. If your nonprofit has a national office, see if there are grant options for you. Small businesses also have a version of this unusual exception. Corporations like Amazon have small business grant options, but you have to be an Amazon business member to apply. That's who we applied to, but what did we apply for? Mostly for specific programs. For example, one funder only supports programs for young children, while another only supports programs for veterans. We applied to each one, only asking for support of that specific population because we have strong programs for both. We did get a few capital grants, which means construction or renovation, so that we could expand a couple of our building spaces to serve more children. Small businesses can also seek support for projects such as business development or marketing, or for capital, such as purchasing inventory, preparing your production center, or something related to logistics. So, out of 100 grants, how much did we get? 59 times the grant funder said yes and awarded us some or all of what we asked for. Pro tip, that's a good success ratio that I have worked years to develop. Usually it's more in the 30% success range. Here's a second and important pro tip. Sometimes you don't get the total amount you request. 19 times the funder said no, $0. Pro tip, when that happens, I always ask for feedback. What could have made our proposal stronger? One of them said it was just too late in the year and they were out of grant money. That actually happens. Another said that they liked our programs but thought that the other applicants' programs were a better fit for their grant funds. Painful but good to know, so we'll improve our programs and try again. Most often, they just get so many grant requests, there is no way to fund them all. If you're counting, we're not to 100 yet. 22 more grant proposals were submitted months ago, and we're still waiting to know the result. So that's another pro tip. Most grant funders will post their schedule, including when they will announce their grant decisions. Make sure you are aware of that timing. If you applied in August and you need the funds in October, but they don't announce the decision until December, you can see the problem. When I first started applying for grants, I didn't have a clue about any of this. I just knew I needed money to fund my projects and grants seemed like a viable option. I spent hours researching, attending workshops, and seeking guidance from experienced grant writers. And even today, after decades of work with grants, I still conduct research, attend workshops, and network with experienced grant writers. And it's still exciting to finish that proposal, whether it's for $500 or $500,000 or $5 million, to send it off to the sender, hoping for success. But as I just shared, we still get rejected multiple times each year. Pro tip, nobody has a 100% success record with grants. If anyone tells you they do, turn and run. They are scammers. Whether you're a seasoned grant writer or just starting out, the strategies I've shared in this video and all across the Grant Chatter YouTube channel can be adapted to your own projects. This entire playlist is focused on helping you build your grant writing skills. I'm Tiffany. Thanks for watching. Choose which Grant Chatter video you want to watch next, and I'll see you there.